What's up guys, Andrew Piluk Sports here back with another video, and today I've got a special one. Today I'm going to be talking about the Toronto Raptors and their remarkable season this year. They had a franchise year, what can I say? It was pretty awesome to watch. I think that all Raptors fans and basketball fans can say that they put on a pretty good show in the playoffs as well. But before we even get to the playoffs, let's just talk about how the season went. Being a Raptors fan, it's almost the exact same joke that all we have in our franchise is a couple good slam dunk contests. Last couple years the Raptors have tried to shut those people up, but this year they really did. And nothing against those dunk contests. I mean, Vince really did put on a show, and I mean so did Terrence Ross. So you cannot complain about those two dunk contests. Let's talk about some of the off-season additions that Masai Ujiri picked up for the Raptors this year. Of course, Canada's own Corey Joseph. He was awesome this year, and it was pretty awesome to watch a Canadian play for the Raptors. And how about DeMarre Carroll? Yeah, I had to get his jersey. I mean, he's pretty awesome to watch. I love his defense, but he puts up some points now and then. We also picked up a good veteran presence in Luis Scola. He played pretty good. He had an up and down year, but we'll get to him later on. And of course, probably the best offseason pickup, Bismack Biyombo. I mean, he's everybody's favorite player now, and we'll have to talk about him in a little bit as well. But back to the regular season, we started off hot, and we didn't stop there. The Raptors chased the Cavs all year. We ended up with a 56-26 record, good enough for second seed in the East behind Cleveland. I mean, everybody knows the Cleveland Cavaliers are awesome. How awesome would it have been if we would have took over the #1 seed? LeBron James, come on. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. Alright, I understand. Even though we couldn't catch them, we won the division for the third straight year, which is also a plus. And for the third straight year, we made it to where we should be in the playoffs. I mean, the criticism was bad enough in the regular season of how the Raptors weren't going to do any good in the playoffs, but once you get to the playoffs, it got even worse. The playoffs haven't been too kind to the Raptors, and they haven't really played all that well, to be honest, in the playoffs for the past 2 seasons. I mean, 2 years ago, we faced Brooklyn. It went to 7 games, and yeah, that didn't go well for us. Lowry had that one last chance, and then a guy that shouldn't be named came up and blocked the shot, and I don't like him, so I'm not going to say his name. And then last year was, swept in 4 by Washington, and that guy was also on that team. It's Paul Pierce, I'm sorry, I had to say his name. You know, it's really hard to like you, Paul Pierce. Stop beating the Raptors, please stop. Almost every media outlet in the United States was basically saying the Raptors couldn't beat the Pacers, and guess what? We beat them. And shouldn't have people looked at us as the favorites to beat the Pacers? I mean, they do have Paul George, but one guy doesn't make an entire team. Regardless, we won the series, even though it went to 7 games. I mean, I think it should have ended in 5 or 6 games, but that's just me as a biased Raptors fan, I guess, I don't know. But we beat the Pacers, finally winning a first-round playoff series. Our first playoff series win in 15 years. Feels pretty good. And now on to the Miami Heat. And again, people didn't think we could win the series. And we did in 7 games. I mean, Lowry and DeRozan, they were not having a good playoff and they didn't have a good series. But I mean, they showed up in Game 7 and that's when it matters. But oh man, Bismack Biyombo. That boy had a series. I think that series made Biyombo pretty much half of Raptors fans' favorite player, and rightfully so. What a series for Biyombo. And you know, that was pretty awesome to win that series against Dwayne Wade, Hassan Whiteside, Luol Deng. There's some good company. And of course, the Raptors did something they have never done. They were going to a conference final. And then all Raptors fans, you know, you're all excited. You're looking, you're going, okay, you know, we have a shot. We're in the Final Four here. We can do it. And then you look on your phone and you're like, oh, who are we facing? The Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah. Well, it was a good season, boys. Honestly, I did not have that reaction. I'm a diehard Raptors fan, and I knew that we had a shot, no matter what team it was that was put in front of us. But before we start talking about the series, let's talk about a poll that was made by CBS Sports. It was a poll to see who you thought would win the NBA Finals. And the list went as so. Warriors, Thunder, Cavs, Other. Really? Other? Come on, man. Look, the Raptors weren't favorites, but how do you do that? That was totally a publicity stunt. They just wanted more traffic on their site, and they won because I'm still talking about it. But I mean, if it wasn't, I'm going to be insanely frustrated about it, probably for the rest of my life, for no reason, but I'm going to. But we embraced it. We weren't just the North, we were the other. ESPN First Take is so funny to watch when they talk about the Raptors because they literally treat them like they're like a D-League team against an NBA like Cleveland Cavaliers. You got Stephen A. Smith when he gets into his act, when he starts going, the Raptors are getting swept in 4 games. Toronto has to realize they got no chance. And when I watch this, I really think that Stephen A. Smith just likes saying Toronto, because every time he says it, he goes, Toronto, you got no chance, Toronto, LeBron James, Toronto. I'm sorry, I have to. And then you got Skip Bayless on the other side. Stephen, I understand where you're coming from. I think this game is over, and you want to know why? My friend Kevin Love. He's better than any other player on the planet. No, sorry, but where was he for half the damn series? But anyways, the series went to 6 games. We're not going to talk about some of the games that were decided by 30 points, 20 points, whatever. The fact is, we went 6 games when everybody said we were going to get swept. We won 2 games, something that other teams in the playoffs couldn't do. And at the end of the day, we had our heads held high. We lost to Cleveland Cavaliers, a team that is heavily favorited to be in the finals in the first place, and I couldn't be any prouder of this team. All the good things that happened this year don't surprise me because this team is that good, and I think we're only going to get better. And you know what? I'm not going to be a bandwagon fan that just jumps on when the Raptors make the playoffs every year. I don't care if we lose no games next year. I'm going to be there from the start to the finish, and I'm still going to be wearing my jersey and my hat every single game. And it wasn't just Lowry and DeRozan this year. Everybody had their part on the team. Patterson, Ross, everybody had their own part, but I'd like to talk about a couple people in particular. Like I mentioned, Patrick Patterson, his defense, he's always the guy talking in the huddle before the game. He's a leader, and I love Patrick Patterson. Hopefully he can stay. If not, thank you for your time with the Raptors. A guy that we know is going to be back next year, I get a ring and I bring it home like I'm Corey Joe. Shout out to Drake, even though I'm not a rapper. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Corey Joseph is a leader. He plays good defense. He is one of the smartest guys in the NBA. His basketball IQ is crazy high. This guy is a great leader. And how about Damari Carroll? Some good defense, putting up points every now and then. Again, a veteran presence and a good leader. Thank God he signed. Thank God that Corey Joseph signed. We're going to have these guys for years to come. I'd also like to give a quick note on Luis Scola. I myself have been hard on this guy all year. He had an up and down year, but look at what he did with Kyle Lowry, and I believe the Cleveland series, pulling him aside and going, look, calm down. You're a good player for a reason. You make these shots for a reason. You are Kyle Lowry. Luis Scola is a veteran. Regardless of if he misses shots or not, he could put up 0 points and I wouldn't care because the guy is a good leader and I like having him, but I'm not sure if he's going to come back. And this offseason is going to be pretty interesting, and it already has been, bringing back Dwayne Casey on a multi-year deal. I believe it's a 3-year extension. I'm so glad the Raptors kept him as a coach for years to come. Welcome back, Coach Casey. And who are we going to go after in the offseason? I mean, is DeMar DeRozan a max player? That might be another video I make. Let me know if you guys want to see that video. He's going to be an interesting guy to watch in the offseason. I don't know if he's going to come back to the Raptors. The Lakers seem to be interested to put that max money in front of him, so we'll have to see. And Bismack Biyombo, is he going to come back? He has said he'll take a hometown discount, but this guy's up for a huge raise after a huge season. Who knows? And are we going to see any trades? I mean, we do have some good picks coming up. We have some decent guys off the bench that we can move, some guys in the minors that we can move. Who knows what's going to happen? Masai Ujiri's going to have to make some critical decisions. And how about going after this guy? He's pretty good, number 35, played for Oklahoma. Kevin Durant, maybe? Okay, maybe not. And that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Again, thank you for the support. It's been awesome. I'm really excited to keep going with these videos. And I'll see you guys next video. Peace.